Welcome back to your daily 30 minutes of slop where I watch extremely heinous cartoons for your own entertainment. Today we're going to be watching something that everybody told me to avoid like the plague, Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon. Everybody said that it was vile, disgusting, nightmarish. Is this going to hold up? Is this going to be true? Because I remember OG Ren and Stimpy, it had its grotesque moments, but it never really made me want to turn away from the TV. It was all tasteful, it was for comedy, it was for the bit, the faces were funny, there was a lot to enjoy here, so it's going to be really interesting to see where they decided to go, turning Ren and Stimpy from a children's cartoon into a adult animation. And to say the least, I'm kind of excited because people have been hyping this up to be so unbelievably disgusting, and with the things I've seen on this channel, how bad could it be? If you like content just like this, please make sure to like and subscribe. I upload almost every single day. You don't want to miss it. If the content here on YouTube just isn't enough for you, there's plenty of bonus content on my Patreon. And if you want a place where you could talk about your favorite games, movies, and shows, my Discord will be in the description. Now let's finally take a look at Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon. Taking a look at the very first episode of Ren and Stimpy adult party cartoon, the episode Onward and Upward. It is very bad. I can't really tell who this is marketed for. The best way that I could describe the way this episode made me feel, it felt like I had another creature living inside me, like, oh, I was born and you're fat, molded by it, but I need to get out, bro. I need to get out right now. Like, that's genuinely what the inside of my body felt like watching this. It is just a abhorrent experience, and I can't imagine for an adult party cartoon show that any adult who's working a 9 to 5 just like, oh, such a hard day working as a male stripper. Oh, they didn't give me enough tips, damn it. And so he goes home, he sits down in his chair, he turns this on. I don't think he wants to watch Ren and Stimpy have gay anal sex. I'm just saying, I don't think that's what they desire. And just a question, were Ren and Stimpy gay in the OG cartoon? That is just a very valid question that I have to have. Not that it's necessarily a problem, I wonder if they genuinely just turned him gay so that they could have gay sex for it to be an adult party cartoon. I don't know. I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. Either way, let's get into the episode. So we cut into this guy who is just sitting there like, he's just sleeping. He looks like, I don't know, he's been through the rough of it. He's homeless. He's got that big nose, big lips. He's quivering. He's just a dubious little individual, to say the least. And so we see that Ren and Stimpy are living inside of his mouth. And that is when the shenanigans really start. Ren, he doesn't like all the snoring and whimpering and all that garbage. So he wakes up and he's like, "Ugh, Stimpy, I don't like any of this, man. I'm not about it. Like, what are we doing here?" And Stimpy, he wakes up and he's like, "Oh, come on, babe. There's no need for any of that. Let me pucker up with you." And he sticks his lips out, closes his eyes. So this confirms that they are, you know, engaging in each other in magical ways, to say the least. But either way, Ren, he fucking takes this rat. It's his lover. He's doing this to his lover. He takes this rat, turns it around, put its voluptuous, gaping anal gland inside of Stimpy's mouth, and just, the rat starts letting it rip. And this is like literally my first time seeing Ren and Stimpy in 15 years. And he's just shitting inside of Stimpy's mouth, just vilely. And Stimpy, he's just taking it like a champ, and then he takes the rat away, and Stimpy's like, "Oh, thank you so much. Oh, I loved it, Ren. You're such a lovely lover." And as his mouth is just covered in brown feces, and I did not like that one bit. Was not a fan of that at all. Didn't like that. So the episode continues, and the thing that I really dislike about this cartoon is it feels like they're just trying to take up so much space with just the same thing over and over again. Like, Ren, in the next scene, he's getting saliva dripped onto him, and it just keeps happening over and over and over again, and the crutch for the comedy is just the fact that he's going you know, just like making a really shitty face. But when you're doing that for 2 minutes, I have to just bet that, oh man, guys, you know, like, instead of, you know, working on this cartoon, let's go in the back and have a group orgy, and we can just fill it up with freeze frames of funny faces. Like, that's what it feels like the creators were doing. It honestly feels like there was no reason to even create this cartoon in the first place, but here we are. So we then cut to the sexual assault, yes, by the man that they're sleeping inside of, which is already a weird sentence enough, where the man's uvula, it starts to get a little bit handsy, you know? And there's something wrong with getting a little bit handsy. You know how Carlos feels about being unconsensual, okay? We need consent. With this uvula that they're inside of, it starts reaching down, jangling down, and imagine this is Ren's ass. It just starts getting in there, and the entire time I'm just on the tip of my toes wondering what's gonna happen, because I really don't want it to go inside of Ren's ass. I'm just praying. Obviously, I'm not gonna show you any of this, because YouTube would not like that, but genuinely, if you want to see my full reaction to it, it's already up on the Patreon. You could go see that right now, link in the description. But that uvula is just dangling inside of that ass. It keeps getting closer and closer, and so Ren, he wakes up, and he immediately assumes that Stimpy was trying to get all up inside him, and I don't like this sentence at all, where he wakes Stimpy up, and he's like, Stimpy, I am the pitcher, you are the catcher. What? What the fuck? That is some weird undertones, man. That is some weird undertones. So Ren, he's very sick of living there. He does not want to live there anymore. He does not want to deal with it. He is sick of it. He is done with it. So he asks Stimpy if he has any money. Obviously, you know, sugar mommy daddy Stimpy's gonna have that good shit. So of course, Stimpy starts just digging in his butt, just reaching all the way in there, just like, let me find it for you, Ren. Oh, it's got to be somewhere in here. And I thought he was just going to pull out some cash covered in feces. No, he pulls out a squirrel. Yep, just a squirrel. And starts shaking the squirrel, and the squirrel throws out coins, and now they have coins. So they're going to move away. How exciting is that? It's thrilling. So they move out. They give a guy a good old tap in the balls before they leave. Good for him. Wonderful. And they go to this bar where they find a vase to live in. How exciting, a golden vase. They're moving up in the world. Good for them. There's things to appreciate. There's things to like. There's things that we can get behind. Okay, maybe it's going to be a turning point for the episode, but I really think this is where everything goes wrong. This is where everything just begins to lose me in such atrocious ways. So they go inside, and because they're living in a golden vase, they now believe that they're living fancy. We get a lot of anger from Ren when Stimpy isn't washing his hands, which seems like a minor inconvenience compared to what we're about to see. Like, Ren is sitting there like, we're living the fancy life now, Stimpy. You need to learn to wash yourself, mate. You can't be doing this. You know, he's just a very angry fella. And then you hear this fucking bell as they're having dinner, and we just cut to a man who sees the vase, and every time they hear this bell, they do something completely atrocious. He just releases one of the most disgustingly animated, like, saliva rockets that I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, he just hucks one of the dirtiest loogies you could ever imagine just into their bowl, and Stimpy, he gobbles that stuff up. He loves that. He was all about that. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, they gave me a little bit of a gross joke. They're gonna stop with that for just a tad, just a second, so that I could recuperate my mind, so that I don't slowly start to becoming demented and turn into something a little bit sour. You know, that's what I was thinking. No, that's not what happens, because immediately after that, they ring the bell again, and this guy just produces one of the most disgusting snot rockets I've ever seen. Just like gallons of pus falls down, and Stimpy, he sees that, and of course his reaction is, fuck.
How refined!
See, it was just too much. It was too much to handle. He starts deep throwing that shit, starts deep throwing that snot. He loves it, he wants it, he needs it, he likes it. and it like gets stuck in his throat, so Ren has to cut it off so that Stimpy can gulp it all down. Does this sound entertaining? Does this sound like an adult party cartoon to you? Does this sound like any adult in their right mind, and I have to preface, in their right mind, would want to willingly watch this for comedy? Because there's been nothing funny. It's just all outright disgusting, and I guess if you're like, you know, 22 and you have the mind of a 4-year-old, then you probably still find this to be hilarious, and I envy you. If I could laugh at this, oh my god, this would be thrilling. But it's just outright disgusting. So we then cut to Ren, and he wants some mashed potatoes, and I was thinking, okay, how could you possibly go wrong with mashed potatoes? Well, he cracks out a whip and starts just what, and the potatoes, they know what's happening. They lose all their skin, and they're like, oh yes, oh god, well, you know, we've already lost our skin. We might as well please the masters and just go be potatoes. So they go and hop on the plate and they mash themselves into mashed potatoes. And then Ren realizes that he forgot the gravy, so he rings the bell. And this was the part of the episode where I genuinely almost threw up, man. I was just so baffled that anybody would want to animate this. They hear the fucking bell again, and this guy just throws up everywhere. Chunky goodness all up in there. And they just start pouring it all over their food and using the throw up as the gravy for the mashed potatoes, and they munch that up. And that was great. Yeah, anybody eating food while watching this? Anybody munching down some stuff and they're staring at the screen like, you know, just like freaking out a little bit? Because I would be. I definitely would be. So, then we have Ren and Stimpy taking a bath, and Ren and Stimpy, they kind of switch who's the beta and the alpha, like sometimes, like in the relationship. Who's the dom and who's the submissive one? Who's gonna be taking it tonight? Because Ren, this entire episode, he's basically been ordering Stimpy around, so I was believing, okay, Stimpy's gonna be taking it right up that good old tube, but, in this scene, Ren is taking a bath, and Stimpy's all like, oh, Ren, don't you need a little bit of help? And, like, Ren is all like, oh, I don't know, Stimpy, I don't know. And he starts, like, massaging his scalp with snot conditioner, which, again, great scene, really thrilling. And then they did the thing that I didn't think they would have the balls to do in their first episode. It's like, have you ever watched BoJack Horseman, when BoJack is like talking about his old show in the BoJack Horseman show, and he wants to take a shit on a DVD of fucking horsing around? Oh, that's a pretty niche reference, but either way, it's like that. It's like wanting to destroy something from your past so bad by just taking it and turning it into something that it was never supposed to be, because Ren and Stimpy, They have sex! It's dirty, it's nasty! Like, you know how I made the pitcher and the catcher thing earlier? I talked about that. Well, Ren, he comes out dressed as a pitcher, and Stimpy, he literally, oh god, he turns his fucking asshole into a catcher's mitt, and Stimpy runs at it. They get underneath the covers and they just start clapping, and the bell keeps going off, so the lubricant is just the spit flying in from all the customers at this tavern, and they're just doing the dirty nasty. It's something that you could never expect. If there's a Ren and Stimpy fan, there's somebody watching this video, they have Ren and Stimpy right here on their arm. They're like, Ren and Stimpy got me through my abusive childhood. They took care of me. They made me laugh when the things were rough, when they were hard. And now I have to watch them get hard for each other and do the dirty nasty. And you know, honestly, good for them. If they can make it work for them, then I guess anybody could really make it work, huh? Anybody can make it work. So, they all get spit on, and then a bunch of people see that there is Ren and Stimpy in this vase, and they don't like that, so the tavern keep, he's like, get the fuck out of my restaurant! And he picks them up and throws them out, and they all start spitting on each other. And I honestly thought, with the way this episode had gone, that Ren and Stimpy were going to be moaning, you know, exquisitely because of the spit, with how much they seem to like this shit. But no, they just run away, and they go to move back into that homeless guy from the beginning of the episode, probably to have more shenanigans, to say the least. And that's the entire thing. Yeah. If I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably give this a solid, like, 1 out of 10. There's nothing amazing about it. There's nothing funny about it. It is just literally all shock about... Oh, excuse me. It's literally all shock value humor. It's the same thing over and over again. It's just supposed to make your entire body irk and itch with the feeling that you need to go jump off a bridge, which it probably works for some people, but not anybody that I would know. Nobody would genuinely want to sit down and watch this for fun unless it was a try not to quit watching type thing, like a Reddit 50/50 type thing. That's all that I could really imagine. This was just unbelievably atrocious. The next episode I took a look at was Ren Seeks Help, and honestly, I completely understand why this show was canceled. Okay, so try to take a walk in this person's shoes, okay? You're a child, you've always had a fascination with murdering insects, all of a sudden you brutally kill a cat, and then eventually you slaughter your parents, and you somehow get away from all of that. You go, and you live out your life, and you eventually get an internship at Ren and Stimpy Adult Party Cartoon, the studio that is making this shit show, and you just feel like you're home because all of a sudden you get to animate a bunch of just helpless creatures dying for no reason, and it's supposed to be unbelievably hilarious. I thought Brickleberry Paradise PD and Farzar were bad when it comes to just nonchalant violence of killing animals like it's nothing, but man, Ren and Stimpy truly takes the cake here because this was just vulgar and abusive, and I don't care about animals dying in cartoons. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm painting. It's when you don't set up any jokes. It's just animals needlessly dying, and that is supposed to be the entire comedy from it because that's what happens a lot here. This episode opens with Ren being really abusive to Stimpy, and Stimpy is crying, so Ren is like, okay, I'll go and get help. And so he leaves, and again, they just really like to stretch out scenes here with Ren just walking and a bunch of stuff is changing in the background. There's one scene where it's a bunch of cows, but their udders are all extended out kind of like in a meat canyon fashion where the udders are just protruding way over where they should be. I don't know, that was weird. I don't even know if I'll show that. I just need to highlight that. So Ren walks for probably 2 minutes before he ends up at a doctor's office with a man named Dr. Horse. Nay, sit down, me boy. Tell me what the problem is. So Ren, he starts talking about his issues and that he's not crazy and what happened in his life, and we get to see pretty much all of Ren's life and his addiction begin. With his birth, it even has to show Ren climbing out of the vaginal cavity. Yes, lovely. Just getting right up out of that uterus. And just immediately the doctor picks him up and just smacks him in the face.
And he beat me, this man.
And I guess that was the creator trying to showcase that everything that happens next is just dandy and okay because Ren was abused as a young little boy, so it's okay what he's about to do because he's traumatized. I guess, I don't know. I just feel like whoever worked on this was just fulfilling their sick fantasy, and it really bothers me. So he gets beat. He had a rough life from birth, and this devolves into him wanting to hurt creatures. And we start off small with insects, where he has a centipede, and he's just picking all of the legs off of it, which is inherently really fucked to watch. Just the smile as you could see this animated centipede begging and pleading for life as he's getting all of his limbs ripped off. He then finds another bug, and Ren has a weird tongue with a claw on it, so we get to see him slowly lick this bug as it's begging and pleading and asking for it to stop, which again is just not that great. And then we get to Mr. Senor Frog, and he's like, I don't know, he's just a typical average frog. He's like, hello, I'm Mr. Frog. I eat the bug. This is in my show. Please don't kill me. He's just the average frog guy. You wouldn't really expect anything too nasty to be going on. But we cut to Ren, and he has a frog, and he's just beating it senseless, just in every kind of way you could imagine. He eventually has a little bike, and he's pedaling it up while he has the frog underneath the front tire, and its guts are just spewing everywhere.
Like that. How I like to spin my little tires.
And of course, the frog survives all of these altercations, so we have to keep watching him suffer over and over again. Eventually, Ren gets a car and attaches, fucking jumper cables to him and electrocutes him, and the frog catches on fire, and of course the frog survives. He's begging and pleading for him to just end it, bro. I can't take it anymore. Please, bro. I can't do anymore. Hello, please help me. You know, and Ren, upon seeing this, he determines that he wants to let the frog live because he sees that as the ultimate form of suffering. So he lets the frog live, and he goes home, and he's sleeping a passionate night. The frog even returns begging to die, begging and pleading to leave, and it's honestly kind of sad. And so Ren wakes up the next day. He's about to go out and enjoy his life, and that's when his father catches him and shows him his mutilated frog and tells him, listen, my boy, you need to finish that frog off. He hands him a gun. The mother does not like that, so she throws up on the cat. Yeah, is that great and thrilling? Like, oh man, we can tell that our show's not funny. Let's have a lady throw up on a cat, and that'll be great. Let's make sure to have high quality detail in that throw up, that spewage. Let's make sure it looks grandiose for all our viewers here. Oh yes, you know, they're going to love just that poor little kitten getting covered in throw up, as if they haven't watched many animals die already. That really added to the scene. Yeah, it's just comedy that I'll never understand necessarily. So he can't use a gun, but he can use a chainsaw. So he takes it happily out, just sprinting to that tree outside. It's called the finishing tree, and he is about to mutilate this frog. He gets into it, he's chopping away, hacking away, getting rid of him. And his parents, like, I don't know what they find funny. I genuinely don't. I know it's all shock humor, but I can't imagine a single person enjoying this. Like, there's no setups to jokes. Like, it just doesn't make any sense why anybody would like this, where the parents just look at each other, and then I have to watch two creatures just start passionately kissing with their grotesque teeth, and they just start feeling each other up very aggressively while their son is out there, and they're just like, oh, that's good parents. You know, just like devouring each other. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Turns out Ren wasn't killing the frog at all. He just puts him in the trash and just lets him keep on living. And that's pretty much it. So we then cut to Ren talking to the horse about his problems, and he denies his love for Stimpy. And then the horse kind of loses his mind a little bit. He's like, whoa. Listen, boy. There's no need for what's going on here. I think you're crazy. And Ren doesn't like that, so he gets up and he grabs a gun and he starts beating him to death with the gun. And then a bunch of like animal control, like lunatic guys, they come and they arrest Stimpy and take him away in a car. And that's pretty much the entire episode. And I really have to question what the point of all of this was. Like, genuinely, when it comes down to it, like, if there's a big Ren and Stimpy fan and they really loved Ren, what did they learn in this episode? They learned that Ren got punched in the face when he was a baby once, which devolved into him murdering countless animals, abusing frogs, abusing insects. And I guess if you're a sociopath or a psychopath and you just love the thought of hurting a creature, then you probably had a ball with this episode. You probably saw him taking the legs off that centipede and was like, oh, centipede, more like millipede. Oh, I don't fucking know, but I can't imagine anybody I know in my life laughing at something like this, because it's just not funny. It's just the creator's sick and twisted way of getting something on the air through Ren and Stimpy that they've always wanted to do. Like, clearly, I wouldn't be surprised if the creator had done some of this in his childhood and now just wanted to put it in his sick, twisted mind and uses Ren as a way to talk about it out in the open. He knows it's sadistic. He knows it's crazy. He knows it shouldn't be allowed, but oh, does he crave it badly. And it really bothers me. Like, nothing about it was funny. Like, it's just honestly shocking and disturbing in such abhorrent ways. So if I was to rate this episode 1 to 10, I would probably also give this one a 1 out of 10. There are no joke setups. There's nothing funny about the physical comedy. It's just torture for the sake of torture. This is no different than somebody like posting a snuff film on the internet. It is basically the equivalent of that, because it's not supposed to be funny. At least it doesn't feel that way. So those are my reactions to Ren and Stimpy Adult Party Cartoon. honestly, this show has a lot of problems, a lot of inconsistencies. It relies heavily on shock humor. It takes everything that was good about Ren and Stimpy and just completely forgets about that because it focuses completely on being grotesque in all the wrong ways. It doesn't set up a single joke. It doesn't feed you into anything. It's just, look at this person defiling an animal. Where's the funny? Where's the funny? He's just fucking ripping its legs off. Where's the comedy? Where is it? I don't see it. It's just kind of weird. And then it focuses on really disgusting things in hopes that's gonna make you laugh. But watching a rat take a poop inside of a beloved childhood character's mouth and then seeing his mouth just covered in brown liquid does not fill my funny bone with laughter. It really doesn't make me feel anything good. I just don't like that at all. And honestly, I've heard that John K., the creator of the show, is kind of a freak. And if it's just narcissism, that's one thing, but there were a lot of sexual allegations for this guy, and not saying he did or didn't do it. All I read was that with the case, the statute of limitations ran out because what he did was so long ago. So I really don't know what that guy did. I don't know if there's any evidence, but just judging based on this, it genuinely feels like somebody is writing this solely to get out their true feelings in a cartoon format, a way that they could truly express it without the fear of necessarily being judged because, oh haha, it's Ren and Stimpy. At least that's what it felt like to me, especially with that torture episode. Like, I can't imagine greenlighting that or thinking this is funny or sending that out, and it feels like he just had a bunch of yes men around him saying, yes, oh my god, all the adults at the party will just love this. They need this wondrous, wondrous show, oh, where we can just all feel so giggly about animal suffering. Like, again, I don't care about animals dying in cartoons when you set it up for a reason. When it just needlessly happens for shits and giggles, even though it's not even remotely funny, then it's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It's like if you're making a comedy show, like a stand-up comedy show for Netflix, you're very excited for it, and then the entire comedy show is just somebody going to a slaughterhouse and you just watch all the pigs get murdered. Like, that's what it feels like. Genuinely. I did not like that one bit, was not a fan of it, and I don't think I'll ever be watching this show again. So, yeah, and unless you guys thoroughly crave me to watch the other 5 episodes, which I have no plan to do. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and subscribe. My Patreon is getting some more stuff there that should be pretty interesting. I'm going to start doing live reactions to episodes with actual footage, so you could see my initial reaction, not just my afterthoughts, not just my commentary on what's going on, my actual initial reaction. You could see my initial reaction to the Ren and Stimpy episode that I talked about in this video. Just, it's pretty funny, and it's a way to do it where I can get past the copyright stuff because it's on a completely different site, and you can just see a lot more of it. I'm going to be doing some gaming content over there, just a lot more fun. I don't mean to market it in every video because I feel bad. I feel like you're trying, like, you might think that I'm just trying to steal your money. That's not the case. I just want to give everybody bonus content, and it does help me out a lot. So yeah, just fun stuff over there. Again, I appreciate every single one of you. You're all great, amazing people. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.